Hi there, Juleka here. Before we get started, I want to invite you, yes, you, to be a guest on the show. If you're an adult and a child of immigrants, and they could be from anywhere in the world, really, I'd love to talk to you about the conversations that are necessary but challenging, especially right about now. So whatever you're all getting into, I want to know about it. Politics, money, holidays, marriage, kids, everything. So send me an email directly at juleka@lantiguawilliams.com and we'll get you on the show. I can't wait to hear from you. Hi, everybody. Over the past few episodes, Coach Varsha, a dating and relationship expert, has been having discovery conversations with first gens looking for help navigating their dating lives. Today, for the final discovery conversation in our series, Coach Varsha speaks to Haidar. Haidar is currently dating someone, and it's one of the longest romantic relationships he's ever been in. But he's a little bit concerned about making this one last. Let's get into it.
I'm Haidar. I'm a first-gen Cuban-American. I was born in La Habana in Cuba and moved to the States when I was about 2-3. And yeah, I'm work in San Francisco as a mechanical engineer for one of the science museums here.
Wonderful. Nice to meet you. I am so excited to jump right in.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So talk to me about what your relationship goals are long term. What are you looking for? And what would a dream life really look like for you?
Totally. I think I definitely would like a monogamous relationship, long term, like serious type relationship. I'm in school. I have a lot of academic goals. Academia seems like something I really want to be involved in. My ideal life would definitely have like a long-term partner that's like very supportive of my schooling, because I'm definitely going to be in school for a long time. That would definitely be the goal for me, for sure.
Okay. What are some of the obstacles that you've experienced so far that have kept you from being able to take things to the next level with someone and really click with someone in a way that'll lead to a long-term relationship?
The era that we're in definitely makes things harder. Social media and stuff doesn't make anything easier. Just like always kind of like seeing options. That's probably my biggest problem, is like always looking for the next thing, or maybe there's like something better out there. Maybe looking for the one, and always being like, well, maybe the person I'm with isn't the one right now. And so I kind of like don't fully invest until I feel like I find the one out there somewhere. So I think, yeah, one of my biggest obstacles is just me always being indecisive and always like maybe trying to see what else is out there.
And how does that end up affecting your dating? Like, do you end up ghosting people? Do you end up not following through? Is it like something kind of short-term starts and then ends? Or what does it actually look like?
Yeah, I think I've done some ghosting in my time dating. Not all the way proud of that, but yeah, I think like right now I'm in a relationship longer than I have been for a while. We're at like 6 months-ish right now, and I normally bail before that. Most of my friends are, been in long-term relationships now. People are starting to get married, and they're like, my friends are like, we want you to be in love, Haidar. We want you to find somebody too. And I was like, me too. Trust me, I want to too. But I'm also like not in a rush, and I'm not going to force something that I don't think feels right. I think now I'm like trying. Maybe I used to like, maybe if something just wasn't perfect or something was just like not, you're like left earlobe is bigger than your right earlobe, I would just be like, gotta go. Like, I gotta go.
Yeah. The gist I'm getting so far is that there is either a some sort of relationship to what it means to make a decision, and maybe like even a fear of like settling. And then also just making it mean a lot. When you first meet somebody, making every little thing mean so much about you and about them. And it's all really heavy. It seems like a lot to take in just for some preliminary dating.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I think I feel like that I have had relationships that, sadly didn't work out, but like I felt like head over heels. I was like in love and I was like, oh my God, this is the person. And it didn't work out. So then when I start dating again and start meeting new people, if I don't feel that like, oh my God, head over heels feeling, it makes me be like, well, if you're not invoking that feeling in me, then I guess you might not be the person.
Hi, everybody. Juleka here. I want to talk to you about something I care about a lot, our democracy. A bunch of podcasters like my team and I have partnered with Represent Us, a grassroots organization. We're reaching out to our listeners to help protect our elections. My team and I are involved because it's time to take a stand. Our democracy is in danger. Last year, 19 states passed laws that make it harder to vote. Election workers are quitting in droves because of threats and harassment. There's even a coordinated campaign to put people in charge of our elections who don't believe in democracy. If you care about this issue like we do, please get involved. To learn what you can do, visit represent.us/podcast. That's represent.us/podcast. Thanks so much.
Right off the top of my head, I just feel like there is a level of happiness that seems to have been stolen from you at some point in your life.
Yeah, I think I could agree. Just like one of my partners in the past, she seemingly was like head over heels for me too. And I now have like a lightweight trust issue because it's like dating, head over heels feeling, hanging out a bunch for like a month and a half. And then like a literal light switch, it would just turn off. And then like a year or two later, they would come back in and reach out to me again and be like, hey, I want to give it another shot with you. Like it's pretty much the same cycle. It happened 3 times.
There's definitely some hurt and confusion, right? With this woman, totally. And with the relationship and how it went. But I'm also noticing there's a pattern of really easily letting things go. This sort of like, let's see how it goes. Like, let's, come. There's not a lot of intention going on here. And I'm curious, like, how that might also have a lot to do with this idea of like seeing what's next, right? It's like, okay, this didn't work, so let's see what's next. And it's kind of like a pattern of like little mini quitting. Okay, this was a little bit hard, or like this just doesn't seem to be working out. And so it's kind of like letting life live you rather than you living the life. And so I'm kind of seeing that. And there might be something in that when it comes to this pattern of like it not really lasting very long in your relationships.
I guess I'm just like in one of my earlier relationships, I was the opposite where I like wouldn't let it go. And I didn't necessarily think it was like the most healthy thing. So then for this like other one where seemingly I'm easy to let go, I was like, all right, like if you don't want to be with me, you don't want to be, I'm not going to force you to be with me because I didn't want to be how I was before. Just like, if you don't want to be with me, you don't want to be with me, Yeah.
Okay. So there's been 2 extremes of this for you where you're either taking it too easy or maybe there was a little bit too much eagerness.
Totally.
What would success in your relationships really look like for you?
I guess a success would just be like happily together. Me not really like pondering what else is out there. I think like being together for longer than a year or so has been kind of my track record of like relationships-ish.
It's kind of my hunch that you might be the kind of person who's very hard on yourself.
I think there could be some validity to that for sure.
When I see this pattern with other people as well around just wanting to move on to the next thing, not sure if there's something better out there, it's sometimes because if we're really hard on ourselves, we're sometimes also very quick to judge others, and also avoid our own judgments because we don't want to deal with them on our own, but then perhaps also worried that when the other person actually sees us for that real version of ourselves, that they're going to also add on more judgment, which is only going to be even more burdensome and heavy to bear.
Right.
And it's much easier to like close the door and potentially start fresh with someone else.
Right. Yeah. I think I probably am kind of a harsh judge. So then maybe I hold myself to a high standard. So then I hold somebody else to a high standard. So I guess in regards to like maybe like quitting and moving on to the next thing is like, I also don't want to like waste somebody's time. If I don't feel like I'm like, oh, like, yeah, we're going to be together forever. Like, I don't want to waste somebody's time, and I don't want to hurt somebody either. I don't want to break somebody else's heart, or I'm pretty empathetic. So I don't want to hurt somebody. So I try and be really honest, and I'm like, hey, like, I just don't think I see it being like more than like a casual thing. Mm-hmm. And then that like bums people out sometimes, but I like try and be honest.
Mm-hmm. And so I'm guessing that type of a conversation happens pretty early on so that you don't hurt them moving forward because you don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah, I would say it happens pretty quick. And I've learned to be honest more so than anything in dating and getting a little older and stuff.
I love that. I think that's such an important value and to be honest. What the catch is here, though, is that saying things like, I don't see this going anywhere because you're unsure about the person, essentially just means I need more time to know if you're the one, right? And that's kind of an understood thing, right? Like worrying about how the other person might feel is considerate. But at the same time, what you're doing is your actions are not aligning with the thing that you say you want. So to actually start a relationship by saying like, hey, I don't know where this is going to go, that's fine. Nobody does, right? But to actually put a hard stop and say like, I'm going to keep this casual directly contradicts saying that you want a serious relationship overall, right? And so what you might want to consider is like for each choice that you make, each action that you take with anybody that you're dating, no matter how long you're dating them, is it actually aligning with the overall goal of wanting to be married or wanting to be in this like healthy long-term relationship, however you want to define it.
It's like more detrimental in terms
of and maybe. There is a risk of getting hurt. There's a risk that everybody gets hurt. But by putting that shield up front, you're also never going to be able to like actually dive in like from a real place of like connection and love and willingness to try.
I guess I would say that like in the relationship I'm in right now, I kind of haven't done every single thing that I've said because I'm like, something's got to change. Like something's got to be a little bit like more different to try and make this last. And I think you're absolutely right because like it's lasting longer than my previous ones have.
Mm-hmm. The other thing that I was going to add to this is that it seems like you're measuring the success of a relationship by some sort of time frame. You mentioned like, having it go longer. I think you mentioned like a year or something like that. And what I'm going to offer to you is to actually measure your success in a relationship with something other than time. Because it, like time is just this thing that we make up. And yeah, sure, maybe a lot of people like to say like after 6 months to a year, we'll talk about getting more serious. But at the end of the day, that time seems to be something that is disempowering, actually, and it feels a little forced on you based on the way that you're saying it. So you might want to take a look at how else can I define it? Maybe define the success of the relationship merely on what it feels like to be with the person. Like, how long have we sustained happiness? How long have we sustained adventure and fun? And does it matter that now the relationship is 6 months in? Like, that's merely just a fact instead of like focusing on the experience of being with someone. Because you could be in a year relationship and have a terrible time.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good point.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, no, thanks for hearing me out.
All right, here's what we learned from Coach Varsha. Align your actions with your goal. If the things you do in your dating life are contradicting what you say you want in the big picture, adjust your behavior accordingly. Avoid preemptive quitting. Giving up on a relationship to prevent a partner from judging you is counterproductive. Ease up on the self-judgment and dare to give things a go. And remember, ignore the calendar. Instead of using time to measure success, try looking at other indicators that things are going well. For example, how much fun, joy, or comfort someone brings into your life. Thank you, Coach Varsha. You're amazing. Loved having you for this series. Loved how much experience and wisdom and expertise and insight you brought to the show. You'll definitely be back. We put a link to Varsha's website in the show notes. So head on over there so you can learn more about her work as a dating and relationship coach. As always, thank you for listening and thank you for sharing us. How to Talk to Mamí and Papí About Anything is an original production of LWC Studios. Virginia Lora is the show's producer. Kojin Tashiro is our mixer. Manuela Bedoya is our marketing lead. I'm the creator, Juleika Lantigua. On Twitter and Instagram, we're at Talk to Mamí Papí. Bye, everybody. Same place next week.